for those of you that don't know me yet, I am Taco, the co-founder and CEO of Open Social, and I'll be happy to guide you in this presentation today. Feel free to skip to the section of your interest by using the links that we provide below this video. We try to make it a bit more interactive and a bit more playful this year. So I'm inviting also our CTO, Bram, our head of product, Moritz, and our senior product designer, Victoria, to share a bit about what we've done in the last year, what we've done under the hood of Open Social, and also our vision for this year. Please enjoy, and if you have any questions after the presentation, feel free to reach out to us. I would like to ask Moritz to jump on this call with me. Let's see if this works. Moritz, are you there?
Hey, Taco.
Hey, Moritz. Thank you for joining. You will tell us a little bit about what we've done in the last year. So I'm going to give you the opportunity to share the amazing features we've built for our clients.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I think we have done quite some cool things last year, and we're going to take a look at like 4 of the core features that we built. And I'm also going to have a quick chat with Victoria, our senior designer, about some of the process and how we came to the decisions we made and some of the features that we've done.
Let's take it away.
Welcome to the presentation of the highlight features. As Taco already introduced, we're going to take a look at what we've done in 2023 and look at a few concepts and important features that we introduced within the last year, or that we have improved. One of the important things within Open Social is the gamification feature that we introduced in 2 years ago. But what we felt is that there is more to it than just a point system, and that was also always the concept here. And the feature we added last year is called Milestones, and it allows site managers to introduce different step-by-step growth journeys for users that helps them to understand what is important to a community, that help them grow towards a certain target, but also that allow just to create challenges or playful interactions within the platform. Here, as you can see, we present a little bit of a screen that you can see on a user profile. So you can add badges and points, as you already know from the gamification. And the new thing is under it, the milestones, where you can see it's a task-based gamification system. So the users, in this case, the site managers or content managers, can add different tasks and group them together to a milestone. And then the users can achieve those milestones by going step by step through those tasks that the site managers have set. Here you can see then a detail page, and what you can see is that it's really a narrative focus. I think that's really important for us to have a strong highlight on that aspect, because if you have classic gamification just with points, it's easy to forget that users are actual people and they're not just clicking something to collect some points, but they want to understand what they're doing. And this is really what Milestones is doing. Here you can see it allows for some description, it allows for different tasks like joining 5 new groups, enrolling in events, but also other repetitive things just to help them understand what is a valuable contribution to the community they're in. And then under it, you can see what you earn, but also what you will earn with this challenge. And from there, then another important aspect, obviously, of gamification, which is really, really enhanced with the milestone system, is the insights that site managers, community managers, but also other users just get. It really allows people to see who are the users that have a lot of reach, that reach other users, that have contribute valuably in certain categories and aspects of the platform, or in general to the platform. So it is for other users really cool to see who are active users, but it's also for site and community managers really cool to see who are those people that achieve those goals that you've set within the community. The next feature I want to introduce is the files and folders. We've been working quite a bit on this already since a longer time, but it's been available since last year. And it is a feature that really helps groups to keep structured documentation. We know that open social platforms are often quite complex structured, and the groups are often used as working groups or as, well, not only thematical groups, but really people who work towards a target. And with this, oftentimes comes a lot of documentation, files, and so forth. And to help those organizations and those groups to give a better structure in that, we created a feature that's similar to other documentation management systems that allow for a files and folder system, for granular access controls that allow you to determine if people within the group, outside of the group, or other segmentational areas of the platform have access to a folder, to a file, and you can even restrict it to specific people. I think we created a pretty cool view here. I really like the designs for it. It's clear. It has a bookmarking functionality. You can go into it and have a little bit more interaction with a pop-up and see more information and metadata around that file or that folder. You can see who has access to it. So really round feature that I personally really like, and that I think can help a lot of organizations to structure their community space better. Lastly, we have the organization profiles, one to last actually. And here it's again about structure and segmentation. We know that open social is being used by a lot of organizations that have other organizations on their platform. And oftentimes we use dashboards or groups or taxonomies and workarounds for that. But we really want to help create spaces that represent the reality that our clients and our users move in. So we created the organization feature to have a representational space that the organizations can curate themselves. So there are some fixed elements, and the rest of the page is really freely creatable with dashboard blocks. You can highlight the latest events from an organization. You can highlight latest contents or whatever, other groups that are related to this organization. So this is actually a feature that we introduced already a little bit ago, but we really improved it. We added more flexibility. We added new blocks. We added the possibility to join it, to follow it, so have a distinction within how the granularity of affiliation to that group works, and with that also an improved access checks around it. So we improved it visually, we improved it structurally, and we improved it from a hierarchical aspect and how you can manage it. And I think it's really one of the features that's growing into a central aspect for a lot of our communities. We're going to continue working on this also. I'm really excited how the direction we're taking this. We're going to overhaul actually the teasers. Victoria and Stefano, our product owner, is working hard on that. And I've seen some sneak peeks already, so I'm very excited about the next iterations to come there. And the last feature I really want to introduce, which I love working on, is the matchmaking. The matchmaking is a little bit more of a niche feature. It doesn't apply to all organizations or communities, but I think where it applies, it can actually really add great value. And it is currently used within a platform that connects organizations, or actually startups in that case, with users to find the right match in an investment context. So as you can see here from this screenshot, we have the different levels of granularity, how that match can be created. So we have at the moment 3 different ones, which is exploration, balance, and pinpoint. So exploration means there is quite loose connection with the search terms. The balance introduces then the essential search terms and optional search terms. So based on what the organizations enter in their profile and the corresponding requirements that a user enters, we find a match that fits to that descriptions. And pinpoint would then mean all the requirements you set as a user are essential. Currently, that is between organizations and users, but in theory, we build it quite flexible so that if any of our other clients will have a use case where that is applicable, that we would introduce groups or any other entity really that's on open social, that is in theory extendable, and it's a plug and play system where we can remove the organizations or add additionally other entities. So that is something we maybe want to work on in the future. So if you or your organization or your community would love to have something like this, let us know. Those are the four features I wanted to introduce today. Really excited about all four of them. Really excited to see how they're going to develop. All four have already new iteration plans, and I think they are going to be all central cornerstones of a lot of communities for open social in the future. And I'm really excited to see where they're going to be taken by us and by the community.
Thanks for sharing that, Moritz. And as we're getting more and more complex projects with often a lot of complexities when it comes to user management, organizational management, what are you most excited about of the things that we've built in the last year?
Yeah, I think we see that one of the big strengths of open social is really adapting to the use case, and I think Drupal offers a lot of flexibility in terms of what they what you can segment your platform towards to, and how you can set it up. So I think for me, one of the most interesting things is to see open social being molded for different use cases. I think we had great examples with now working on a client in the aviation space that has a lot of different airlines, and we can see how the organization profile perfectly fits that case, how you can create different segments from the tools that we created and that we added to the open source toolbox in the last year. We had a platform launched in an investment space where we used organization again with the matchmaking that I presented to connect users and the right organizations and so forth. So I think really applying the depth and segmentation possibilities within Drupal with the flexibility and sandbox ideas within open social to fit to any specific use case is something that I personally find very exciting, to see how everything comes together, but also where you can see the hard work that we put in over the last 6-7 years to build that toolbox. So I think that's really great, and that's where we really shine with those big projects.
Yeah, what I really like is that we can see that we built organizational profiles, I think 1.5 years ago, but everybody keeps on building on top of it and expanding the functionality. So for me, it's really interesting to see what we can build as well this year on that.
True. I think this generally evolving patterns that we see within features is something that's really great to see, because you can see that also the community thinks with us, and it's not just we put something out and then it's there and people like it or don't, but we see that it's being adopted and that it's really a living product. That's also kind of like the spirit of open source development, right? And I think it's really great that this is still visible within the product.
Great. Thank you.
Next up is our CTO Bram, who will talk to you about our architectural changes.
All right, so I want to talk to you about some of the infrastructure upgrades that we've been doing. But first, I want to tell you a little bit about the upgrades we've done at Open Social. So we are a proponent of open source software, and we are using a lot of open source software as well within Open Social. So one of the two notable things that we are using is Drupal, and the group module that is also in the Drupal ecosystem. So we regularly update to the latest versions of any software components we rely on. They bring in new features, improvements, bug fixes, and security fixes. But here, primarily, we are looking at some really big changes that happened over the past 2 years that the community has been working on. And we have been performing that update over the last month. So a lot of things have been changing, and it's primarily something that will help us to produce better, more stable, and more efficient code in the coming time. So you won't see immediate changes here, but we can tell you that it's much more secure, and we are using these features to produce better code in the coming time. So Open Social has been investing in security from the start of our product, our company, and our organization. And one of the things that we've been doing over 2 years ago, I think now, 2021, we invested almost the entire year in achieving the ISO 27001 certification. That's also what you see here. It's been by a renowned auditor, URS in the UK. We have been we received that certificate for ISO 27001, and we get regular audits on this as well. So, for example, we've now been externally audited independently, of course, twice, and the last one was actually just before Christmas. We have had well, many questions. Obviously, we needed a lot of proof that we need to supply in order to show that we have a very good understanding of information security and that we have a stable process in place to ensure that data that we protect or in our organization for our clients and our end users is secure, and we know how to deal with attacks or any malicious actors that try to do something about this. We also upgrade our infrastructure, and that is something that we do in order to improve our disaster recovery time and capabilities. And it's also to ensure future upgrades can be done without any impact on you, or minimal at least. And that's something that we've been spending the last 6 months on to ensure that we have stable infrastructure for now and for the coming time. So here, before, you may have seen the communication about this. Your domain was pointed to like the cloud hosting that we provide, and now we have OpenSocial in between that can manage this, and we can also ensure that when a data center goes down, we can recover your platform well within a reasonable time, instead of having to wait for a lot of changes to happen before we can do this. A big part of this is also to ensure future upgrades, as I mentioned, and this is also something where I want to introduce Cloudflare. So Cloudflare brings us additional security and performance through a massive global network that they use. This is something that, well, of course for us, but primarily for you and your end clients. Cloudflare also provides for the CDN. With their global network, we can provide your community site as close to your users as possible. And that also means that this is improved performance for your end users primarily. We implemented this according to industry standards, best practices, and primarily also through guidelines that the Dutch National Cybersecurity Center puts on the internet, and we validated against it as well. Finally, some really exciting stuff that we've been working on and that we aim to work on much more in 2024 are webhooks and API. So first, let me quickly guide you through this picture. So on the left, you see the webhooks, and webhooks are very useful for getting data out of your community sites to other systems like your CRM or any notification system that you have, or mailing systems, in real time. So events that happen on your platform, for example, a user signs up, you will immediately get that data in your other system and can act on it accordingly as well. So this is something that is very useful for getting for tracking data, tracking engagement, and we want to make this available through Zapier as well. So you can automate this without having to write any code. You can automate this with popular apps that Zapier already integrates with. On the right, you can see APIs, and this is a little bit more complicated, but it's also very useful. So here, instead of like us providing you data when an event happens, you can ask OpenSocial about data. So you can ask when a user registers, you get this data from the webhooks, but you can also ask OpenSocial about the details regarding this user. So any content they created, specific profile information, and much more. It will provide you that data at the moment you request it from us. So at first, we will be providing user data, group data, and we're hoping to expand this in this year as well with event data and many more engagement topics.
So thanks, Bram. That was really interesting, especially as I said before, it's not always visible what we're doing in terms of architecture and security. And when we do our job well, I guess you'll never see anything of this, right?
That's a promise we try to live towards. I think this is security in general, and the data that we have to keep secure is it's fundamental to what we're doing. Like I think that the data that users put into the community platforms, like personal data, the engagement that they do, like this has to be absolutely secure, and also privacy is important in aspect into that. So what we do now with ISO certification over the last 2 years is reinforcing what we've already been doing over the past years before that. It's just a testament to that fact. And now we're making it even more secure with changes we are doing in the infrastructure, upgrading, web application firewall, DDoS protection. It's all to make sure that the data end users put into it and the clients that we serve remain secure and up always.
Yeah, privacy has always really been at the heart of everything we do, and we feel, of course, a great responsibility for the data of our clients.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Bram. Looking forward to what we'll roll out this year again.
Thanks, Taco.
All right, thank you, Bram. That looks really cool. We continue with our senior product designer, Victoria.
Hi.
Hi, there she is. Welcome.
Thanks.
What will we be talking about today?
Today, I will be talking about the product design and experience. I will tell a little bit about our improvements coming in this year and also about other user experience and interface features.
Nice. Let's show us.
Today, I'd like to talk to you about product design and experience and our plans for 2024. The first one is design system. So what is the design system? Is the library of components, and it's not only design components but also front end. So it's a library that have all kind of elements that are on the platform. It also has documentation or specification on how to use those elements on the platform. And it's important to have a nice, up-to-date, high-quality design system to ensure that we provide a usable and accessible interface for our users. And it's really important also to store the information up-to-date through the design components library. Currently, as Open Social has a lot of legacy, our design system needs improvement. It needs to be refined. Lots of things need to be added to the design system, and we want to make it more flexible. We want to make the platform more accessible. So it's our challenges that we see, and we plan to address them in 2024. And to do that, to implement the design system, we would need to map our current components to see what's the best points to start from and where we can implement it step by step so it doesn't hurt, of course, user experience. And as a result, what we expect from the design system is that it will improve user experience. It should bring consistency to the platform. It should make the behavior of elements predictable for the end user, consistent through the whole interface. And it also will make our lives easier and the development cycles faster, because we will have more time on thinking about interaction and user flow rather than thinking about how to implement this or that elements to the product. The next part is platform navigation. And actually, platform navigation is quite connected to the design system because we plan it to be as one of the starting points on implementing the design system to the platform. So what elements we are talking about when we say navigations is, of course, top bar navigation, is sub navigation, it's sidebar navigation. It's also a little bit of admin site managing navigation. And it's actually everything that somehow helps people to navigate the platform. And the importance of having a nice navigation, of course, is great, because it affects user experience, it affects engagement. People need to find things fast and easy. They need to understand when to find them and see what they can do to them also. And our plans is to see what problems we actually have for each kind of navigation and how we may improve it in the context of course, our current clients and our users, so it feels natural and, of course, more accessible and more usable than it's now. Of course, we're also talking about customization and branding for navigation, because it's an important part of using and navigating the platform. We have a top bar, which is customizable, but as we hear from our clients, they say that they would like to have more customization and make it more easy to bring their branding language to the platform. And yeah, as I mentioned, that we have a few issues with navigation, which we will map, and we will try to see how exactly we can approach this problem to solve it efficiently and the best for our users and clients. The end result we see from these improvements is, of course, the ease of navigating the platform, its increase of engagement of the end user, and it's just more intuitive and more accessible platform with better visual appearing design. The next topic I would like to cover is notification experience. In 2024, we are looking to improve our notifications. And when I say notifications, I mean various alerts, emails, system messages, any kind of messages that somehow communicate to the user. And how we see the importance of notifications in connection to the engagement is that it really helps site managers and communities to bring people together, to bring them to the platform, to deliver messages, to share same experience on the platform. So it's a very powerful tool actually to keep your community alive and keep your communication with community members on the highest level. And what we are looking for in improving notifications is to bring better language, bring better visual design, start talking more about actions that people can do rather than something that happened on the platform. Also, we are looking for better customization options. As you can notice that there are some custom messages, but we want to bring this structure and define when we do custom messages and which kind of we can provide through the platform. And of course, we want to solve better the translation problem with our notifications also through these improvements. And the visual layout of notifications we know can be better, especially in-app notifications. We see that they a bit lack of engagement, and that's also the challenge we will try to cover this year. And a few words about other improvements we're gonna tackle this year is the first one is roles and permissions. So we are looking for improving the roles and permissions experience. Now we see a few challenges, such as not enough scalability or flexibility of this functionality, and we want to bring more clearance and better experience in using roles and permissions on a platform. And this year we want to research it first, we want to investigate, we want to collect your feedback and see how we can together improve roles and permissions on the platform. The next thing is elevating content settings page. So it's a second thing we plan to introduce our design system with. We are talking about any basically content settings page like create topic or edit profile or app files. As you can notice, they look similar and sometimes even the same, but they lack of consistency. We see that they lack of accessibility, and our task will be to bring the design system components which will be accessible and usable and just visually better, consistent, bring them to settings page. So your community members can set up, create entities, do anything that is related to settings more easily, more accessible, and with better user experience. The last thing is iOS push notifications. This year we are aiming to boost user engagement through iOS push notifications because it's finally possible and we finally can do it on the platform. And yeah, looking forward to it.
Thank you, Victoria. That is looking really interesting, and I can't wait to see all these things in practice. I notice you're very passionate about this topic of design and that you really have this big drive to make OpenSocial a platform that's very inclusive and accessible for a very big audience. What is the drive that you have to do all this hard work?
Thanks for the question. Of course, what drives me is making people's lives easier and making them happier. And I, as a designer, can do it through digital interfaces. And at OpenSocial, I have a great opportunity to bring accessible and usable interface to community members, to our clients. And of course, their feedback and seeing their comments and just hearing from them that their life, of course, within the community has been changed is just incredible. It's the best thing I can get from my job.
And it's a big project, right, to improve the design system, and there's a lot of areas that we can implement this. What do you think is going to make the most impact that you're looking forward working on this year?
Oh, that's tough to say about the most visible impact that my design improvements will have. But what I can say is that design system is a very complex process. It's not something that we can even finish any day. It's something that should live and always evolve together with OpenSocial. And of course, at the same time, it's not unfortunately something that we can build in one day or even in 1 week. So it's a real challenge, but we will get incredible results, as you can see from my presentation. It's going to have impact not only on the end user, like community members, but only impact on our clients, on site managers, and impact on us, because we will be able to work faster, to deliver better solutions, to be more consistent, and to focus more on things that make people's lives better and easier, instead of focusing on how we can do something in the context of on what we have currently.
Yeah, thank you. I really like your approach on this, and I cannot wait to see what we can deliver this year. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Me too. Yes.
All right. last but definitely not least, we will be talking about the initiatives that we have for this year. They're not small pieces of work or features, but really big improvements that we want to make to Open Social. This has to do with on-page personalization, recommendations. It has to do with engagement automation, sending notifications through email and on-page to users. It has to do about tying this together through a customer data platform, and an inter-organizational feature that we call Mycelium. And I'll tell a little bit about all of them. But what is important is that we are looking for partners and clients that want to co-develop this with us. So if one of these features is interesting for you, please reach out to your customer success manager so we can work on this together this year and see if you can be one of the first clients to use this functionality. Why are we doing this and why do we think it's important? Well, the CMX report, that is a industry-wide report that has about 700 people that is filling out the survey. Year after year has the same frustrations among community management. And that first one is always the same, the second one and third one as well. It's about engaging the community. How do we reach people? How do we make sure that we create critical mass in our communities, get to this tipping point where there's more user-generated content than you as an organization can make? So how do we do that? But also, how do we qualify what's going on in the community and what's the value of our community? What's the value of the interactions that our community members bring to us? A lot of the efforts currently are manual, and if there's any community managers watching, you know that it takes a lot of effort to engage people, to welcome them, to send reminders of things. So we really need to automate more. That also ties into the next one, not enough staff, less of cross-functional collaboration. So what we did is we really thought hard and long about these issues and came up with a number of solutions. And the first one that I want to share with you today is a tool that is called Recombee. And Recombee is a tool where we can personalize the experience on page, so that on the platform, a lot better. It's one of the recommendation engines that are out there. There's multiple of them, but this one is quite useful because it tailors quite well with what we are looking for at Open Social. So we've done some research, and we think that the first use cases that we want to look at are about recommended articles, read more articles, for example, about seeing what's trending in the community, but also engage with the search and other recommendations. Read more, for example. This is one thing that we want to pilot to connect Recombee with Open Social. If you are interested in this, please reach out to us. We will be happy to work with you to set this up for you and to really measure the impact of this. And the good thing is that there's already a Drupal module for this. It's released last year. It is compatible with Drupal 10. So we can really get a head start of this. And again, we're seeing it in the power of open source and the power of Drupal in action. The other thing that we want to do this year is to use other open source platform called Mautic, which is a marketing automation platform, to increase the engagement and to automate a lot of the engagement on the platform. Mautic is a tool that can help you send out email notifications or on-page notifications. It is triggered by actions that your members do on the platform or time-based actions. For example, a number of minutes after initial sign-off or a number of days before an event takes place. We'll talk a lot more about Mautic, what we can do there, but the core is really that we are segmenting our clients based on, for example, the community experience pyramid that we've shown a while ago, to see who are active in the community, who are passive, how can we activate people, but also around specific interests. If we can find out what the interests are of your users and new content is being placed, we can then tailor them with, for example, a personalized newsletter or an on-page notification, or even through some social channels. So Mautic is really strong in this, and it also comes with a lot of reporting and dashboards. So we can really tailor the engagement automation system towards your specific needs. Again, we're doing small proof of concept and pilots here, so if you're interested in working with us, please reach out. Last but not least is that we're tying the personalization component, the engagement automation, in with a customer data platform, or CDP. And the customer data platform can track the user's interests and segments, not just in an open social site, but throughout the entire journey of a member, wherever it may find itself, on your homepage of your website, maybe in one of your social channels. So what we really want is a much more unifying profile of the interests of this user, so we can deliver the right content to the right person at the right time. We've also talked about our very big passion, of me personally as well, on the last Open Social Summit, and that is the project that we call Mycelium. And that's about connecting different open social platforms with each other to make either a small subset of interconnected communities or organizations, or a larger network of open social platforms around certain topic, say climate change or inequality. So what Bram has showed you today about the API work, about webhooks work, it's all foundational work that we're doing to make sure we are building a much more connected and composable platform. Last year, the first standalone Open Social Summit was a really big success. If you haven't watched the videos of our team or our partners and clients speaking at the event, please check out our YouTube channel. There's a lot of very interesting content there. And we are very happy to announce that on the 30th of May this year of 2024, there will be another Open Social Summit in Amsterdam. If you haven't signed up already, please do. A lot of our clients will be there to share their insight and learn from each other and network with fellow community builders. There will be people from the United Nations, Greenpeace, European Commission, the World Bank. So it's going to be a great, interesting day, and of course, really nice social activities afterwards. You can sign up through your Community Talks account. Also more than happy to sign you up through your Customer Success Manager. With that, we've come to the end of this roadmap presentation. We've shared a lot with you today about what we have been working on, things that we are doing under the hood of Open Social when it comes to architecture, security, things that are much more visible when it comes to nice and shiny design implementations, and our broader vision this year on more personalization, automation, and building a unifying, composable platform out of that. This will not end with this presentation. We will dive into all of these topics in the next weeks and months much further. So thank you so much for making it through the end of this video. If you have any questions or remarks, feel free to reach out to us. And as always, we can only do this with your support if we work together building Open Social into an amazing platform. Thank you so much, and hope to see you all soon. Thank you. Bye.